Well, it's Friday the 1st of December and we're off to the car show. There's my baby, she's in the back. How are you?
I'm fine.
You are? And today we have our designated chauffeur, Pa, because he likes to go to the motor show too. I think big boys and big toys. Is that right? Anyway, don't forget the subscribe button down here. Yeah, little bell thing to notify you. The website. It's all part of the process. Don't forget, I'll also be dropping a link down the bottom there for a Google map. That'll sort of, you know, this video will be out on Tuesday. So the motor show still, the Motor Expo is still running. So if you're in Bangkok, hop on over there and check it out yourself. Anyway, guys, cue the intro and we'll see you when we get there. Well, today's traffic getting here was absolutely crazy. Darling, no. Come here. She's not like traffic. You don't like traffic.
I don't like traffic today. So bad.
Too bad. Anyway, we've made it here and now we're going to go walk a couple hundred yards into the actual event. Catch you in there. Well, here we are at the Impact Centre to start at today's adventure. And one of the things I wanted to sort of do before we head inside is just clarify a couple of things. The first thing is the fact that, you know, when we're going to see these pricing, right, this is in reference to a video I put up for second-hand cars last week, right? You've got to keep in mind a couple of things here, right? The average monthly wage for a Thai person is around $600 Australian. Whereas the average monthly wage for an Australian, I think this is before tax pricing, is $4,700. So even after tax, and sort of, let's sort of say $3,000 per month is your disposable income on an average wage in Australia. You've got to keep in mind the fact that the pricing we're going to see here is reflective on the Thai population. This is one of the things that I'm finding really, really challenging at the moment, is how the Thai people can afford these expensive luxury items, which we take for granted as being off-the-shelf necessity to get to work and back. Absolutely sort of mind-blowing when you sort of see the pricing. Now, I've actually sort of done a bit of research before getting here. Now, there's 3 vehicles we're going to look at in particular, actually 4 vehicles. The first one being, like, we've already looked at, if we were to buy a new car, we'd be looking at something like a Mazda 3. I particularly like the Mazda style vehicles. And, you know, when you're sort of tossing up Mazda, Toyota, a Honda in Thailand, you know, in Australia we're probably competing against Mazda, Hyundai, and Toyota and possibly Ford in Australia. Ford's not a very popular brand out here, so, you know, I'm going to be looking at the Mazda. One of our channel followers has mentioned the Fortuner. Right, that's the Toyota Fortuner, that's the SUV. Now we've got a second-hand SUV. We're not on the market for a new one, but again, we want to look at the relative pricing of that in Thailand versus Australia. Again, those prices vary quite considerably. We also want to look at something like a middle-of-the-range Honda. Honda's a popular vehicle out here as well. I've never been a real Toyota fan throughout my life. My father was. I just never really sort of saw the advantages in the Toyota range. But again, I was never swayed to public opinion on those sort of things. And of course, the other vehicle we're looking at is, you know, like a decent mid-range bore motorcycle. Again, like, you know, what we sort of say, 60s is the 60s is the new 40s in age terms. what we're looking at when we sort of say that, we used to talk about the midlife crisis at the age of 40. Well, that one might have been so true, you know, like in the 60s and 70s. It's now the 2017, so I almost forgot what year it was. So, you know, what we're looking at now is lifespans and everything else. Okay, I've been one of the lucky ones to plan my retirement early. So, you know, like I get to retire at the early, you know, a nice early age of 55 years old, 10 years before everybody else. Only because of the fact that I did a bit of planning, which, you know, wasn't sort of an overnight thing. It was something that was set in my mind 20 years ago. You know, my father retired early, you know, through the Australian defence industries, which, you know, back in 1995, you know, pretty much planted a decent seed in my mind, the fact that you don't have to play the 40-40-40 plan if you invest properly, look after your finances, and don't get up with keeping up with the Joneses sort of style of mentality of consumerism. It's a challenge, I know, for most people, and again, the people who you know, are in that sort of wage bracket of only, you know, $30,000 a year, they're going to find it even hard to even, you know, put 10 cents together as an alternative sort of saving plan. It's always the case, and I know how challenging that is. But you've got to, there are ways of getting around those problems, finding some good friends to live with. I know my daughter, you know, she's living in the centre of Sydney. Now she lives with two other girls. She's having a decent lifestyle from the best I know. She hasn't said anything, you know, bad about her lifestyle, and it's something she's grown accustomed with. This one not working? I can't help you, darling. My pen's not working. Oh, try it up. Anyway, so we're going to head inside and have a look around. Oh, and of course, the other side of being at the motor show, we're going to see some pretty nice dolly babes throughout our adventure as well. So keep tuned for that. Yeah, so my intention was to actually, you know, do this in sections, but again, like the way they lay these things out is not going to make it easy to try to do 3 different videos. It's just going to have to be sort of, you know, bits and pieces and thrown all together. Maybe I can edit it to the end of it. Anyway, just put the extension on the camera and we'll take a bit of a look around. As you can see, it's a pretty big place. So there we are. We're at the Audi section here, like the Audi TT 3.2 million. Oh my God. The Audi TTS is behind us here. 4.6 million. You're going to start to wonder how even a Thai could afford that. But they are nice cars, there's no doubt about it. Really it's going to come down to, well, we'll try to see if we can find some decent comparisons on the financing deals. But let's keep a focus on what we're looking here for. We're just an average Thai family potentially going to buy a new car. We're not millionaires. Well, maybe I am in one sort of sense, but I don't have a disposable 4 million baht to spend on a car, let's put it that way. Of course, we say 4 million, how about 18 or 19 million baht for an Audi R8? Oh my God. The Porsche 718 Boxster, what are we looking there? 6.8 million baht. Hose machine. This way, darling. Don't know why the Suzuki stand for the motorcycles is mixed in with the cars. All the rest of the motorcycles are down the other end of the hall, which will be in more than likely the second video or the third video in the series. But yeah, well, we're here at the Suzuki dealer, so let's have a look at some Suzukis. I think the best thing for me today is just going to collect all these little brochures for the price tags. because it's like, here's a Suzuki stand and there's no prices on the actual bike, so you're going to have to do a cross match between the price list and the sheet. One that's interesting, this is the Suzuki GSX 750. If I was going to get a big bore, I'd be looking at something around about between 500 and 750 cc's. I can't see anything, there's no reason to get anything bigger than 750 cc, but this one here, it says, according to this price sheet there, the GSX 750 ABS, 367,000 baht, which when you start to think of it, is not a bad price. But again, it's relative, that's more than a Thai person can afford. The Suzuki V Twin Boulevard, way too much noise here. That one there's 400,000. As I said, got to look at all the pretty girls. Hey Quentin TV, are you watching this? Hey? Have you got one of these ones? I like that. I think we'll leave Mercedes for the expensive car buyers. It's definitely out of my price range. And I've never really been into the Mercedes cars anyway. They might be really well engineered, but it's just not my thing. We're going to have a hell of a day trying to stay on track, aren't we? It's okay, we can find somewhere. We want to see everything.
I cannot see here, then you move here and here.
It's okay, I'm just filming, darling. You can look around. There's an SUV, the Ford SUV, 1.3 million baht. Of course, these prices will vary depending on all the options you've got as well. And again, here we are, sort of this is the everyday type of cars. We'll probably take a poke inside to see what we've got in here. Ford Everest there, 1.769. Ranger. Starting price, 754,000. Working men's cars. Ford Ranger dual cab there at 995,000 baht. I think it's 89,000 baht down payment and 48 months to pay. I don't see the repayment schedule there. How about a Bentley? I guess it comes down to the story, if you have to ask the price, you can't afford it. You know the way it is. There is actually no price listed on the tag. Quentin, how about an F-Type Jaguar? Is that more your style? Only 12 million baht. Here we have our Chevrolet dealer with the pretty girls at the front, smiling at the car. Chevrolet trucks. Okay, so what we have here, you're looking at the Trailblazer here, SUV. Retail price is 1.5 million. You'd pay 374,000 as a down payment, and over 4 years you got 25,287. So again, getting back to this whole thing, right? If your average monthly wage is 15,000 baht, who can afford these sort of things in Thailand? Seriously. No, darling, we're not buy car today. You don't have job. Right.
You say like this for 2-3 years before, I understand, don't worry.
I don't have yellow book. I cannot buy, cannot finance. I don't have yellow book yet. You help me get yellow book, I can maybe buy.
Sure?
Yeah, maybe.
Tomorrow make now.
One day to make a yellow book, yeah, sure. I think she's joking. Well, this is getting more into the around the town cars. The Nissan Almera. I don't even think that model's actually in Australia, to tell you the truth. So SC model, V model, so starting at 445,000 for the base model, going through to 637 for the sports model. Again, not a bad car, but I've never been into this. They look alright. And over here we have MG. The MG5, I'm just going to get too close to get a good view of this one here, but just looking at the price tag on this one here, it's MG5 with the sunroof. That's $759,000. You'd be paying $113,000 down payment and $14,833 per month for 4 years. And again, that's just coming in at that, you know, average Thai wage sort of price. Still don't know how they can afford it. We'll spin around and have a look at the Kia and the Hyundai. Probably after we walk down there a bit. Again, so those are the two brands in Australia that are very well known for being cost-effective family cars in Australia. Love to see the comparison prices here in Thailand. Well, here's the first brand that we wanted to actually have a look at, which is the Honda Civic.
Yes.
Oh, you like this red one, huh? Oh my God. Not quite the Ferrari red, but it's nice. Let's see, SU 1.8 EL. Let me just go and check my reference pricing in Australian. So what we have is it's $959,000 is the EL model. Now I'm just looking at my Australian reference pricing here. It doesn't have an EL model listed. There is an L model. The L model, the VTI L 1.5 is listed at $27,790. Trying to get a cross match. This is always going to be the problem when you're looking at these sort of things, is trying to match a brand for brand. The VTI Standard Edition, which is the 1.8, which is what this is. So maybe this one here is more like the EL model. So we've got 22,390 versus 959,000. That's way more than what you'd be paying in Australia. Quite impressive pricing when you think about it. It's a nice looking car though. Well, this is of course the other part of the whole car equation. When you start to look at these prices for the cars, yeah, they are more expensive. They become every car a new car, I guess the best way to classify that. Every new car becomes a real asset in the family, and even second-hand cars have extraordinarily high resale prices, because when you start to factor, the thing is, you know, these people may have to sort of, sign over their first child to actually buy one, and work like bastards for 4 years, or even 6 years or 7 years to pay one off. They're going to treasure the car. I know when you start to look at Thai driving, it's hard to believe this, but I've sort of seen, 15-year-old cars in Thailand, and they look immaculate. The Thais really do, value this particular asset, because it's not something that they can go out and buy every day. This is part of the problem, I guess, when we start to look at the Western cultures, like in America. Like they're how do you put it? They're consumer items. In Australia, they're not luxury items. They're consumer goods. They devalue 25% as soon as you take them off the showroom floor. Whereas here, right, they are a valued asset in the family. Right, if they're well looked after, they retain their value pretty well, and the market stays fairly stable, and therefore, this sort of thing here, it's like buying a house. And of course, when you start to see some of the pricing here, they are as expensive as a house as well. So the Thais tend to look at these things as being that sort of a purchase. So 7-year, 8-year financing, it's all on the cards, and invariably maybe they are putting a second mortgage on their house in some cases just to buy that vehicle. It's hard to comprehend. This lovely girl's doing her best to try to sell Shania on a car. Doesn't realise it. I'm the one with the money. She should be talking to me. at who we bumped into. Where's your worst half?
I lost with Steven.
Yeah, this is.
I look at the car, I go inside and I test the car, but I don't know where you go.
Yeah, so Stephen's here somewhere. Obviously,
You met him before?
yeah, Stephen. No, Stephen. Yeah.
No, yes.
Where?
He
Where?
come here.
Yeah, he's here.
Over there.
Oh my God. Anyway, so this is Thailand Unplugged.
Yeah.
This is the better half of Thailand Unplugged.
Okay. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Bye.
I don't think there's any cars for sale there, but nice vehicles. No, okay, here's the second one, Mazda 3. This is the other reference vehicle we're going to look at today, the Mazda 3. 2.0 SP sports model 1119. Again, it's very hard to get reference combination prices because this particular model is not on my Australian pricing list. Again, this is something you have to contend with. But it's a 2 litre, it's a 2 litre sports model. The reference pricing I've got for a 2 litre model in the Mazda 3 range in Australia starts about 22,500, going up to about 27,000 depending on the options. This one here, we're talking like 1,119. That's, well, you know, like a 25 baht to the dollar. You work it out. Again, it's a luxury item, I tell you. You think she looks good? I think she likes red. So again, the other way we should be looking at this is not so much how much the prices are compared to Australia. We probably should be better off looking at the thing is, you know, like what the monthly repayment price is. Like I would, you know, normally never buy a car brand new off the shelf as a full payment. I would, you know, always look at a finance option for a car. I know this is the way it is. Like, you know, what would I be able to afford? Well, in my case here, like, you know, knowing how much money my financial, my investments produce, I could, you know, with a bit of juggling, I could say I could afford 15,000 baht a month to pay for a car over 4 years. Right, so maybe I should be looking at the pricing in retrospect to that sort of financing deal. Right, and I haven't really looked at the fact that whether those prices are have a sort of residual after the 4 year, or that would be a total price. Again, it's hard to do. I've really got to do some serious mathematics on these sort of things to see how they pan out. But as I said, we're only doing the looking now. I'm not prepared to be buying a new car right away. I'm still a bit concerned about the whole financial market. Maybe in 12 months' time, when we're up to 10, 15,000 subscribers on the channel, maybe there'll be sort of some few baht coming in the door from that. That would make a difference. The channel making $1,000 a month. Hey, well, making $1,000 a month, one of these new cars could definitely become an option. It just means like I've got 12 months of serious work to build the channel up to get that sort of subscription and get that sort of revenue from my social presence on the internet. If I do all the right things and give you guys the right information you're looking for, it's definitely within grasp, within reach, with a plan. I just got to put the plan together. Of course, we actually do have a Mazda dealership just at the corner of the main road where our village is. That's probably where we'll go if we do some more shopping around for the Mazda. Boys' Toys, the Mazda MX-5 RF, 2.8 million baht. Of course, there's nothing wrong with a Mazda 2, as a city car, drive around. 750,000 baht. And I'm not even going to ask what the price of a Maserati is. Nothing wrong with looking at the girls, huh? I guess if you have to ask how much they are, you can't afford one. I guess what car show would be complete without Rolls-Royce? Yeah, Anna?
Mazda.
Maserati, darling.
Maserati.
Maserati, yeah, very good car. Like Rolls-Royce.
Thailand. No,
Yeah, no, nobody in Thailand can afford. Maserati usually have price tag of $500,000.
Buy one Rolls-Royce มานะคะ
Yeah, you
ได้ go big C
go big C, go big C. Yeah, right. And a good old Beamer. I think that's from my car. Not like the matte finish. $11.8 million baht. Prototype frozen yellow. Yeah, okay. I don't know whether that's to distract you from the price tags. But they definitely are distracting, aren't they? And now we have Aston Martin. Fancy yourself as a James Bond? Oh my God. Looking good. Hey Quentin, you watching? You want one of these? Oh my God. Well, given the fact that we've been here a bit already and we're halfway around, I'm going to sort of maybe take a break, cut this video here, and then we'll pick this up as part 2. Now I just got to find my girl. Come darling. Right, we have 2 videos, so this one here, part 1 end now, okay? So we'll catch up with you on part 2.